Now, Fort Peck Reservoir in eastern Montana is one of my favorite places to fish. And we come out here and it's just so rugged and remote and beautiful. Awesome fishing. You got big lake trout, you've got big walleyes, you've got big northern pike. If you love to fish with tip-ups, it's a tip-up angler's dream. You use 6 lines per person. You can have tip-ups out all over with big fish potential. So there's a lot of things to love about Fort Peck. But the thing about Fort Peck is you have to respect Fort Peck. The ice, you can never trust the ice in the sense that you always have to be testing, and there's a lot of different things that can create bad ice on Fort Peck. You know, you see right here behind me, we've got some shallow rocks that are sticking out where the sun's gonna melt down and thaw this out. But basically when you're using a GPS and you get these shallow points, you know, especially once we lose this snow and that sun's beating down, you know, just with the water moving back and forth and the sun beating down on shallow structure, you know, you just drive around it. You want to stay away from really big, long, prominent, shallow points that are just under the water, because a lot of times that'll create bad ice. You know, just the sun penetrates and those shallow rocks absorb that heat, and that'll create bad ice. There's also methane gas pockets out here that you have to watch out for. And so between the methane gas pockets, the fact this is a reservoir, so there's water moving, and there can be current areas or some areas where the sun beats down on shallow rocks that can create bad ice. Then obviously you get some really big pressure ridges out here as well, but you have to respect it. And so biggest thing is when you come out here, you know, if you see anything that looks different, check it out. Don't assume anything, okay? And the other thing is make sure that you have a spud bar, okay? So that way, if there's a pressure ridge, you can, you know, go up and just check the ice. And basically, when you whack the ice hard, one good whack, if there's water starts to come up, you don't have enough ice. You got to back up. And so typically, I always say 2 good whacks for being on foot. And obviously, if you're, you know, a side-by-side or a four-wheeler, you know, you're going to need more ice. You know, generally say 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches to be safe with a snowmobile or a four-wheeler. And then a side-by-side, I typically want 8 inches, you know, and that's subjective. You know, you talk to different people that have different ice thicknesses that they'll drive on, but I always err on the side of safe, you know, and you definitely want to respect this because there is a lot of water that's moving out here. You know, the fact that you have this massive reservoir, you definitely have to heed the ice conditions, so don't assume anything. You know, be really diligent on ice conditions, and if you prioritize being safe on the ice, you know, this is just a tremendous, tremendous winter fishery.